Hi, welcome to this webinar on creating comfort in the chaos, presented by the New Jersey Hope and Healing Program. So to get started, I recommend you pause the video at any time if you want a little bit more time and space on any given topic. And to start, just check in with yourself. Before we really get started, think about, what do you do to create comfort in your life? And this can be on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It can be small things or big things. It can be, your favorite cup of coffee, or it can be a couple days off that you decide to take, or maybe a purchase to treat yourself. Whether it's, a fun new notebook or coloring book or anything bigger than that or smaller than that. It can really range how people create comfort in their life. Maybe a phone call to a friend. The opportunities are kind of endless. And so take a few minutes here. I invite you to pause the webinar and just really start to write your list. Start thinking about meaningful activities that you engage in that bring you comfort in your life. Again, daily, weekly, monthly, something on the weekend, something on a Monday morning before class. Really check in with yourself. And when you're ready, you can resume the webinar. So today we're going to go through a couple of different categories. This is our agenda. We're going to go over environmental, mental, emotional, relational, and physical comfort. So environmental comfort. Really, this means a cozy setup in your physical space that really lowers the energy, makes things slow and still, and brings you some ease. So there's some visuals here about what environmental comfort might mean to some people. So you might notice coziness on couches, maybe with blankets or a cup of tea. Maybe it's dim lighting. You notice a bedroom in the middle here. The lights are low, getting ready for bed, really bringing some coziness into the physical space. There's also a person walking on the bottom right corner. You notice that for some people, environmental comfort, they might find ease from movement, right? So some people prefer to be still and cozy. Some people maybe, have had enough sitting all day and really need to feel ease through movement, and generating some energy. And so, which one of these images, or maybe there's a different image that pops in your mind, what resonates with you when you think about comfort in your environment? There's also mental comfort. So, mental comfort really means respecting your mental space by taking breaks from media. So, media can be quite overwhelming, and that includes social media as well. So, people often think about social media as a way that we connect with other people. And while that can be true, and it can feel like we are quite connected to others around us through social media, I wonder about taking breaks and if you might benefit from taking breaks. It might feel exhausting to some people to be connected and plugged in and tuned in all the time, especially if you're also getting news from some of these spaces. It can feel pretty overwhelming to be constantly plugged into the news. And you'll notice on the top left, this image, do we want to see COVID-19 news? The answer is probably yes and no, right? Like, you want to stay informed and you want to know what's going on. And maybe there comes a point where too much news is overwhelming and no longer beneficial to us, at least in a given day. And so some of these other images just showcase, getting rid of technology for a little bit, if possible. We spend so much time on technology nowadays. Just getting rid of it for a little bit can help. And then these folks taking a hike, really without technology, just kind of being out in nature. All of these are ways that you can really provide yourself with some mental comfort. Emotional comfort. So, for this one, we're really talking about that letting go of your day and your stress with a routine that brings you emotional ease. So, in some of these images, you'll see some people find emotional comfort by spending time with other people or with animals. Maybe it's talking and having a snack or engaging in some physical activity. I really like the person that's dancing, something like that, playing your favorite song and dancing, not caring what your body looks like or what moves you're making, just really letting go, giving into the music and dancing, that can really help some people let go of their day and just really clear their head. So think about what brings you that emotional comfort, right? So in this picture on the bottom right, you'll see there's cozy clothing, there's pizza, there's tea, there's music, things that really make people feel just chill and comfortable. Uh, what is going to help you feel emotionally okay? And our days can bring such a range of emotions that it can be really important to just allow yourself the space to feel emotionally okay at the end of the day. So there's relational comfort. Relational comfort, you know, we have so many relationships in our lives, and they can sometimes be tough to maintain if we don't also take care of ourselves. So the point of this is really recharging on your own to allow you to show up in spaces where you have relationships with more ease. So, things like engaging in your hobbies, which you see on the top left, different hobbies that people have, giving themselves me time or space, right? Like if you have roommates or you live with your family and you're around them all day, and those are the only people that you're around all day, giving yourself some alone time might feel really nice, right? Like it can sometimes feel like you have to spend a lot of energy to always be around people. And some people feel that way quicker than others. So just noticing in yourself when it might be a good time to get some of that me time, that space is really key. And so you'll see, of course, there's overlap. Like, yeah, these people also look cozy, like they have a good environmental setup or maybe an emotional setup. But the key thing here is just some of that alone time, some of that space away for you to choose what you want to do to get that fulfillment. Physical comfort. So, like everything else, this can mean a lot of things. And critically, I think here is that these are sensory experiences that take you out of your mind and into your body, right? So, for example, in the middle, we see the bath or a shower. A lot of times, taking a hot or a cold shower can really create a sensory experience on your skin that really helps you get into the present moment and ground into your body and what you're feeling. Taking a deep breath. So, really feeling breath go in and out of the body. And you can do this exercise where when you inhale, you smell the flower. And then as you exhale, pretending you have a pinwheel in front of your face, blow the pinwheel. So, really, that deep, deep breath where you feel the sensations of the breath traveling in and out of your body can feel really grounding to some people, can feel quite comfortable and restorative. On the left, you see somebody or someone might lift weights, maybe working out or physical fitness. That can also be an experience where you really feel into the body, right? Like you feel your muscles moving. Maybe even with walking, you feel each foot taking a step and making contact with the ground. Physical activity often really brings us into the body. Something that was on a previous slide too that can count here is dancing. Dancing really brings us into the physical body, especially when we're not concerned about what we look like, right? Just moving along with the music, whatever feels good and feels natural, that can be really good in order to get that physical comfort. And then on the right here, you see two folks meditating. Perhaps they're about to practice yoga, perhaps they're just breathing or practicing some mindfulness. And this as well is a way to ground into the body. So it's a more in-depth version of focusing on your breath. So perhaps if it's yoga, it would also be pairing breath with a physical practice. So a really great way to step into the body and keep our minds quiet for just a bit, because our minds are always working. And so if there's any way that we can help our minds, uh, create some space and some ease and really get into the physical body, that can feel good for some people. So review. These are all the categories that we reviewed today. I really encourage you to either, pause here so you have kind of the categories, or go back through the webinar to see all the pictures and hear the examples. and really make your plan to increase your comfort, right? So, what are you going to do? What do you want to do daily? What do you want to do weekly? What do you do every month? Maybe you have a plan that, every Sunday morning, I'm going to do three of these things, or maybe, 4 times a week, I'm going to pick something from my list and I'm going to do it for 2 minutes. Maybe once a week, I'm going to do one of these things for an hour, right? So, really get quite specific. So, not only making your list of what will you do, but also thinking about when, what you'll need to do it, and how much time it will take. So I really recommend maybe having a bunch of things on that list that are free and quick, right? So maybe it's dancing to your favorite song that's 3 minutes long, taking a walk around your house or your building, getting outside just for 5 minutes. Maybe when your professor gives you a break during a synchronous class, you make a point of getting up from your computer, even if it's just to get a glass of water, right? Just to not sit at your computer. Or perhaps you make a plan for getting alone time at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. What is going to bring you comfort and create comfort in your life in all of these areas? Maybe you just pick one area and start there, knowing that this webinar will be available to you and you can always return to it to increase your comfort and to continue creating comfort, right? The important thing is to be aware of it and to make a plan to get there. So if we were in person with this webinar or doing a live webinar, of course, I would love to hear if anyone has any thoughts and questions. And what I will say is that these are some further resources that, if you have any other thoughts, you can visit our website, that first link there. We do have individual quick brief counseling if you feel like you need a little extra support. Feel free to contact us through our website, and there are some other resources here for you should you need them. Thank you so much for joining me for this webinar today. It was great to get to spend this time with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful time creating comfort, and hope you take care.